Welcome back, students, in our this session, and this is your assignment number 9. And in this assignment I'm going to teach you about the fruit and the dispersal of fruits and seeds. So first we see that what is fruit. A fruit is a ripened ovary and produced after pollination and fertilization. Now what is fruit is? Fruit is a ripened ovary and that is produced after the pollination and the fertilization. Now the wall of the ovary becomes the pericarp or the fruit wall. Now the fruit wall of the fruit is known as pericarp. The fertilized ovules inside the ovary become modified into the seeds, and the fertilized ovules they changes in the form of seeds. Now the wall of the ovary may be fleshy as in tomato, brinjal, orange, papaya, apple, cherry, and are therefore called fleshy fruits. Children, you all have seen these fruits and they are fleshy fruits, right? Because the wall of the ovary, they are fleshy. That is why they are known as fleshy fruits. Now in cotton, lady's finger, pea, gram, bean, maize, the fruit wall of the ovary is dry and thin. In these vegetables, the fruit wall is dry as well as thin. So such fruits are called the dry fruits. Now the fruit protects the seed which carry the future plants in the embryo stage in two ways. Now the function of fruit is that it protects the seed which carry the future plant, and by two ways it can protect it. The first one is when young it is green color, keeps it hidden under the green foliage. Foliage means, children, the thing is foliage means all the leaves of a tree or a plant. They kept the fruit, they kept the seed inside them hidden. When mature, its colored, soft and fragrant fruit wall attract the agents for the dispersal of fruits and seeds. And when the fruit become mature, its color, its fragrance, they attract the agents, they attract the insects and other different agents for the dispersal of fruits as well as seeds. Now we see the fruit formation. Now usually only the ovary grows to form the fruit. Such a fruit is called a true fruit. So there are two types of fruit. One is true fruit and the other one is false fruit. Now true fruit is the one in which the ovary grows to form the fruit, and in some plants parts of the flower other than the ovary also grow after fertilization and help to form the fruit. Such a fruit is called false fruit. For example, we can see the mango is the example of true fruit, and apple, pear and gooseberry, these are the example of false fruits. Now in the apple, after fertilization has occurred, the thalamus develops around the growing ovary and forms the flesh skin of the fruit. You all have seen apple. What happens in apple is that after the fertilization, the thalamus develops around the growing ovary and forms the flesh and the skin of the fruit. The ovary constitute the core, which we generally do not eat. The middle part of this apple is known as core. This part we do not eat. Within the ovary are the seeds of the apple, and you all have seen the seeds of the apple. This is found inside the ovary of the fruit. Children, now we see the different parts of fruit. The entire ovary grows to form the fruit, and the ovary wall forms the pericarp. Pericarp is the skin or the wall of the fruit. Now the pericarp may be thick or thin. This wall of fruit may be thick, or in some cases it is thin also. When thick, it may consist of three parts. The outer, called the epicarp, they form the skin of the fruit. The middle layer is called the mesocarp, and it is the pulpy layer, and it is found in fruits like mango, plum, etc. And the inner layer is called the endocarp, and it is often very thin and membranous as in orange, or it may be hard and stony as in palms, mango, etc. Now you can see the diagram here. This is the structure of mango, and it is a true fleshy fruit. Now in this you can see the different parts of fruit. The first one that you can see is the outer part is known as the epicarp. Then this middle fleshy layer, the pulpy part that we eat, is known as the mesocarp. Then the inner layer, this one is known as the endocarp, and the most inner layer is known as the seed by which this fruit grows. So this is the structure of the fruit, and this is very important also. So you have to draw this structure in your copies. Children, now we see the functions of fruit. First is protection. It protects the seed against injury and other unfavorable climatic conditions. So the function of fruit is that it protects the seed against injury and it protects from the unfavorable weather conditions also. Second is dispersal of seeds. It helps in the dispersal of seeds of fruits. With seeds when ripe, dispersal occurs with the natural method and artificial too. Now this dispersal of seeds occur in some fruits. When the fruit become ripened, it bursts, and by bursting it spread the seeds, and in this way the seeds scattered all over, and because of this the new plants grows from them. Third is storage of food. It stores the food material, as in the case of tomato, apple and mango. So one of the function of fruit is that it stores the food material, like in the case of tomato, apple and mango. Now we come to the last topic, that is dispersal of fruits and seeds. Now what do you mean by dispersal is, when a fruit is ripe, it breaks away from the parent plant and its seeds are scattered. As I told you, when the fruit becomes ripe, it bursts and its seeds are spread out and scattered all over the ground. So the scattering of seeds away from the parent plant is called dispersal. This process is known as dispersal of seeds. It is important. Now why it is important? It is important that seeds and fruits are dispersed far and wide, so that the plants which grow from them will not be overcrowded. So dispersal is necessary, it is important, so that the plants, they do not get overcrowded. This reduces competition for light and water between members of the same species. It may also result in plants growing at new places, which is essential for the diversity in the ecosystem. So that is why the dispersal of fruit and seed is very, very essential. The three ways of dispersal in seeds are by wind, animals and water. Now the pericarp, that is the outer layer or the fruit wall of different fruits, develop in different ways for different methods of dispersal. Now first is wind dispersal. Fruits and seeds of dandelion, cotton, poppy, cinchona and orchids are of parachute type. Their seeds are in the form of parachute. These contain feathery silky hairs which protect from the fruit or seed and so increases its surface area. Their seeds, they are present in the form of feathery as well as silky hairs, and therefore it is likely to be carried a long way from the parent plant by slight air currents. With the help of the wind, they can able to disperse from one place to other places. Now the seeds of orchids are very light and dusty, an adaptation for wind dispersal. Now the orchid seeds, they are very lighter in weight as well as dusty also, so they can easily blow with the help of the wind, and by this they help in the dispersal of seeds and fruits. Now the second one is animal dispersal. Fruits and seeds of certain plant types are surrounded by hooks, bristles, barbs and spines. Now few seeds of fruits are in the form of hooks or in the form of bristles, or they are in the form of spines or barbs. Now these hooks catch in the fur of passing mammals, and the fruits and seeds fall out as the mammals move about. Now these kind of hooks and bristles, they stick to the fur of the mammals, they stick to the fur of the animals, and when they move from one place to another place, these seeds and the fruits, they fell out, and in this way they can able to disperse the seeds from one place to other place. Examples are gooseberry, hazelnut, xanthium and martinia. Now few seeds are harder, so hard seeds of some edible fruits are not digested and so pass out along with the droppings of the bird away from the parent plant. For example, the seeds of guava, tomato, orange and blackberry. You all have seen these type of fruits and vegetables, so the seeds inside them, they are not digested and they can pass out along with the droppings of the birds, and in this way they can disperse the seeds from one place to other place. Now the third type of dispersal is water dispersal. A few seeds and fruits are dispersed by water currents. These seeds and fruits are light, flattened or with air cavities, or have fibrous coat with hard covering over the seeds, which can easily be carried to long distances by water currents. So few seeds are there and they can disperse from one place to other place with the help of the water currents. For example, water lily, lotus and coconuts. Now these seeds are fruit and fruits are light, they are lighter in weight, they are flattened also, and they have air cavities in them so that they can able to flow with the help of the water current. Now with this we have finished with our second chapter, and soon I upload the solved assignment of this chapter for you all. Thank you.